Good afternoon, everybody, A-level students everywhere in the world. I'm Mr. Willis Wandering. I'm taking you in the French Revolution. Today, to look at the reign of terror during the French Revolution. That is from 1793 to 1794. This is the most violent, this is the radical phase of the French Revolution. This was the time when historian says the revolution kills its own children because almost everybody, including Maximilian Robespierre, the mastermind of the reign of terror, himself will be killed during this particular period. We want to examine what was the reign of terror, what were the reasons for the reign of terror, and what were the consequences for the reign of terror. It's very important to remember this was a time of mass executions. Around 20,000 people perished during this particular time. We are calling the reign of terror. It's very important. The reasons for the reign of terror are quite a number. One of the things that was there is that there was the fear of counter-revolution in France at that particular time. Inside France itself, a lot of people were opposing the revolution in places where Catholic was very strong. You're talking about places like Vendée, places like Lyon, places like Toulon. Those were areas where people were fighting against the revolutions. We have the clergy who are opposed to the civil constitution of the clergy. Many of them were against the revolution. They were countering the revolution. We have the immigrants who've run away from France at this particular time. They were also fighting the revolution at this particular time. So we have internal enemies in France at this particular time. We also have external enemies. We remember Austria and Prussia who gang together to form the first collusion, and they fought against France. The second collusion, which included Netherlands, among other countries, Belgium, they gang together to fight the revolution. So it is at this particular time that the revolution faces stiff competition from the outside. So Maximilian Robespierre says, let terror be the order of the day at this particular time, just to ensure that the revolution survives at this particular time. And we are going to witness great violence during this reign of terror. Maximilian Robespierre will prosecute Louis XVI. Louis XVI is going to be guillotined in January 1793. Very important to remember, he's going to be accused of treason, one of the victims of the reign of terror at this particular time. His wife, Maria Antoinette, will also perish in October during this reign of terror. The reign of terror will also witness, perhaps dating back to the September massacres, where inmates were killed because of the rumors that were going around in France at that particular time, saying that the inmates would support the counter-revolutionaries at that particular time, and a lot of people were killed in that particular time. Even in Vendée itself, we're going to have a lot of people being killed at this particular time, and we will witness quite a massacre at that particular time. The reign of terror dominated by the Jacobin clubs. The Jacobin club, which was the most radical of all the clubs that were formed at this particular time. And there were people who were supporting for the Republic at this particular time. So the Jacobin club will dominate the reign of terror until when Maximilian Robespierre himself is going to be executed in July 1794. So the Jacobin club will be there at that particular time. To ensure that the revolution survives, we are going to have the Committee of Public Safety being formed at this particular time. The Committee of Public Safety had 12 people, and Maximilian Robespierre was in charge of that. It was the executive body that then was in charge of running the operations of the government at that particular time. So the Committee of Public Safety, the Committee of General Security will also play an important role in trying perhaps to ensure there was security. Surveillance committees were formed to ensure that they monitor the activities of the people in France at this particular time. So it's going to be a very important organ, the two of them, the Committee of Public Safety and the Committee of General Security, ensuring that the revolution survives at this particular time. The two of them are going to work, but perhaps to ensure that everything was legally done, we're going to have several laws being passed at this particular time. The law of suspects, which was one of the most notorious laws. It stated that if you are not committed to the revolution, you will be executed in France at that particular time. So thousands of people were taken to the Revolutionary Tribunal, and the Revolutionary Tribunal was the court that charged these people under the law of suspects, that if you are deemed to be lukewarm towards the revolution, then you will be guillotined in France. The guillotine became the order of the day. People will go and watch others being guillotined in France at this particular time. So the law of suspects, that was one of the laws that was very, very bad. We're going to have the law of maximum. The law of maximum, controlling the prices, ensuring that people did not hoard the basic essentials in France at this particular time. Those were some of the laws that were passed at this particular time to ensure that the revolution survives. At this particular time, we are also going to have the religious terror, de-Christianization, organized to ensure that the Catholic Church perhaps is abolished. We have a new religion, the cult of reason, and the God being worshipped is the supreme God at this particular time. The calendar changes. They're going to abolish those religious festivals, all those ceremonies Christian will hold at that particular time, targeting the church at this particular time. Very important to remember that the church was not spared during this particular time. Very essential, perhaps, to remember a very bad moment in the history of the French Revolution. All the civil liberties of the citizens are going to be quashed at this particular time to ensure that no citizen enjoys his freedom at this particular time. So we're going to have all these things happening in France at this particular time. And the religious terror affected the society. All the powers of the church are going to be taken away at this particular time. And France is at war with other countries, and everybody is fighting to ensure that the French survive at this particular time, the time we are calling the Reign of Terror. People like Danton are going to also be killed because it was perceived that Girondins were lukewarm towards the French Revolution. Jean Marat, the journalist, editing the Friends of the People, will also be killed during this particular time. Very important to remember some of those great personalities will perish during this particular time. we are calling the reign of terror, where bloodshed was the norm in France at this particular time. The revolution has gone out of proportion. The revolutionaries had not even anticipated that this would occur during the French Revolution, a very critical phase, just when the revolution has reached its peak. The revolution has reached its apex in France at this particular time. The momentum is so high that everybody is facing a lot of bloodshed in France at this particular time. So the revolution kills its own children. The revolution kills its own children. There's a lot of paranoia. There's a lot of fear in France. Everybody suspecting the neighbor. The neighbors could perhaps accuse the others of being lukewarm towards the revolution, and you'll be taken to the revolutionary tribunal and you'll be charged at this particular time in France. So everybody is fearful, great fear. Just like in the beginning, there was the great fear now also comes in during this particular time. We are calling the reign of terror. The powers of the Committee of Public Safety are so much, just like during the time of Louis XVI, when we had absolute monarch in France. So this is the time that the revolution goes beyond the imagination of even the revolutionaries, reaching at the apex. Then Maximilien Robespierre would then be killed, and the reign of terror will end after July 1794, when he was killed. People in the National Convention knew they were the next target, so they outsmarted Maximilien Robespierre and had him killed. And after that, we have the Thermidorians coming in. The Thermidorians who restored order at that particular time in France, and the reign of terror ends. And then we have the Directory that brought stability in France. So you talk about the reign of terror, you're talking about the people like Maximilien Robespierre playing a very, very important role, prosecuting Louis XVI until Louis XVI then had to be killed at this particular time. So Robespierre plays a very important role during this particular time. We are calling the reign of terror, ending on July 28th, particularly, to be specific, 1794, when he's going to be guillotined, and that marks the reign of terror. So the most rivalry part of the French Revolution was the reign of terror. Today we finish our lessons there on the reign of terror. Good day, good revision. I see you in the next lesson.